time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode of the Up North Journal podcast is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Scent-Lok Technologies,
Scent Blocker,
Rambo Bikes,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Limwalker Game Calls,
Stanislawski Releases,
Copper John Sights,
Easy Cut Outdoor Products,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Hunting Scents,
X-Stand Tree Stands,
Spot Shooters,
Gut Check Indicators,
and PackerMaxx Cultipackers. And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. Welcome back to another late Sunday edition of Up North Journal podcast.
It's not late, it's normal.
Well, normal. Late time.
We are now back on normal schedule, folks.
We are back on our normal 7 o'clock live stream time. For those of you listening to the podcast, you're missing out if you don't partake in that. But, you know, for those who can't maybe join us on Sunday evening, they can always catch it either on Facebook or they can catch it over on YouTube on Wednesdays.
Right, exactly. You know, if you prefer a YouTube thing, go on Wednesdays. Typically by morning, it's released and ready to go. You'll see the post.
Yep, good to go.
Yeah, and then if you got the feed on for the podcast, it's automatically downloaded Monday morning, right?
Yeah, usually I got it done sometime Sunday night.
Yeah,
but
I see that come out.
How's coffee night?
You know what? I had. Is this the dark roast or regular roast?
No, this is regular.
Okay, so our typical Sunday evening Hunter's Blend coffee. This morning I had black roast.
The black powder.
Black powder roast. Yep, the
Okay.
dark roast. Good. It's just smooth. But yeah, don't forget, go over to huntersblend.com. Check it out.
HuntersBlendCoffee.com.
HuntersBlendCoffee.com.
Here, I'll put the webpage up for you.
There you go. Check it out. Use the promo code UNJ and you'll get an extra 10% on your
order.
When you log on, when you pay up.
10% off.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
No, you can't. But yeah, coffee's tasting good. The weather's kind of weird.
It is. You know, as I just looked out the window, number one, this time of day, it's daylight now, which is kind of cool. But what's also cool but not cool is the fact we got snow on the ground right now.
Cool was Thursday when it was 60-something.
I actually rode to the gym with the windows down in the Jeep.
Yep.
It was pretty good.
Right?
It was awesome, actually.
And then yesterday, it was raining most of the day. We were at Jim's getting our 28's set up. And then got home last night after dinner. All of a sudden I look out. All of a sudden that white stuff started falling from the sky.
Yeah, we got about an inch and a half, 2 inches of snow on the ground. David Boggs down in Indiana, he actually posted a picture and said that I must have been thinking about Indiana because it snowed down there, but they had thunder snow.
I was going to say, he said the lightning was kind of awesome during the thunder snow.
Yeah, so yeah, it looks like they got a little more down there, but they say when that thunder snow happens, that the thunder actually it shakes it so hard that causes the snow to fall out and fall faster and fall bigger.
Really?
Bigger flakes, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I never heard that or knew that.
Yeah, so, well, that's what our weather guys say, so it works, so I don't know.
You know, and so I haven't looked at the weather this week, so I'm hoping we get kind of back to normalcy of the 40s, 50s, hopefully throw in some 60s.
Looks like it's supposed to.
So that's good, because I'd like to, get out the bows maybe. I got out the crossbow. I shot the crossbow last week, and I kind of tipped everybody off with just a little bit of tease, but I did shoot it. Got that hit in the bag, so.
Nice.
Yeah, it was, I just like crossbows. It's fun. Just a fun thing.
Now, the coalition's supposed to be out from PSE when?
June.
For the public to get a hold of.
So
going to get a little video of that or some pictures and stuff?
Absolutely. We're going to do it as soon as it gets a little warmer.
Right.
I'd like to not shiver when I'm shooting.
Right.
But what's the update there? You're staring at it.
Yeah, quick update. It looks like there's a foul with about 5 seconds to go. Duke shooting free throws. They missed the first one. They're down by 2. So if Michigan State can hit their free throws, it looks like they may win.
Right.
They're down by 1. It's a 1-point game right now.
Who's down by 1?
Duke is.
Duke is.
Yep, and Michigan State's shooting free throws.
All right.
With about 5 seconds left.
Okay. So, but yeah. So this week, we kind of really didn't have anything planned in the rain. And the rain lasted all day Saturday.
It did. Yep.
You know, hey, let's do something outside. Well, no, unless you want to be in rain gear.
Right.
So we said, hey, let's go over to Jim's and get our bows set up.
Yeah, I actually got a picture of you sitting over in the shop. Look like you're daydreaming there.
I was just daydreaming as I was looking at the 28 going, I can't wait to shoot it.
Yeah. So that's the Evolve 28. I got over there, had mine over there, and actually I dropped mine off last week, and then you met me down. I was going to do some tuning on mine at the shop. And
yeah, we were gonna do some tuning, and there's Jim right there, putting it on the rack, getting the timing set up of the cams, making sure everything was all set, and it was kind of funny when he mentioned, "Hey, what draw length are you?" And we just kind of looked at each other, said, "Whatever he is," and we're about a quarter inch off from each other.
27 and a quarter.
Yep, and I'm about 27. So,
yeah, so
and he checked the timing, and the timing on it was perfect out of the box.
We got a final. Michigan State is going to the Final Four. They've won by 1 point.
There you go.
So I guess I owe my buddy at work lunch. I am done.
Oh boy.
So, but yeah, he's got it on the draw board there. He's doing some tuning, making sure the cam timing's all set on it. What gets me is looking, number one is the preload on them limbs. And then you look at it at full draw and you see how much those limbs are loaded, but also how short that is. I mean, it's a 28-inch axle to axle Evolve, but it's just super short and compact.
It is. It's very short and compact. I'm really digging that for hunting out of a blind. I tell you what, I am pretty geeked about it. Because I typically hunt out of a ground blind, or I built some stands that I can put the ground blind on top of it. Mm-hmm. So I'll still be in the ground blind situation. So this bow here, I'm excited to shoot out of that. I'd like to set up my ground blind out in the backyard when it comes time, mm-hmm. and start practicing out of it just to see what the difference is. And I'll probably maybe pull out the 31 or the 35 and we'll do a comparison right there and see what the difference is.
Yeah. Well, I got my 31 sitting right here. And that 28 feels so different than this one when I shot it.
It does.
It's hard to explain, but it's just different.
You know what? And when he put it on the draw board there, just trying to get him to fit it between the two rollers.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun to watch him try to wiggle it in there and get it to sit right there. But he did it though, and we put a D loop on it. We put a peep sight on it. I went with a smaller peep sight, just trying to close up my sight window a little bit, not too much, because typically I like to go with a quarter with hunting. Right. But
so what are you going with, 3/16?
I think that's what it was, 3.
And that's what's on this one. I believe it's a 3/16.
The meta, I think that's the exact same one I put on. You know what? And Jason Pfister's checking in from the Bahamas.
I don't know. Oh man, we got snow here, Jason.
Yeah, Mr. Ohio is in the Bahamas there. I've seen him there all week. And
yeah, I saw some pictures from down there.
He must be missing coming back. He needs to come back.
That's right. When you come back, man, bring some sand, beach sands, and some sunshine and some warm weather with you when you come back.
Right, exactly. So, it just...
Well, I hope to have the 28 ready for turkey season. That's the goal.
Yeah, we should have him back this week.
When you first shot it yesterday, what was the first thing you thought?
Cool. Actually, when I pulled it back and got set, just that feel, that Evolve feel of those cams, it to me it felt like the other two, but it just didn't do anything that it was awesome, and it's shorter, so that just makes me so happy to know. And we were talking a little bit about angle too yesterday, but I don't think that's going to be much of a deal.
Oh, you mean talking about string angle?
Yeah.
Hang on one second here. I'm just...
Yeah, you go right ahead. Jason will be home tomorrow. Oh, his vacation's ending in the Bahamas.
So, but yeah, the string angle, that was the first thing I noticed when I shot, when I drew back and got into it. Even before I really shot it, and when we were just, checking arrow length and draw length and all that kind of stuff, setting the peep, it's different.
Yeah.
It's a steeper string angle. So,
but it sits nicely.
That's the one. I remember when Dan Yassa brought it. Was that last August, June, July, August, sometime last summer?
The 28 we did over Memorial Weekend. It was that hot day and
Labor Day weekend.
No, Memorial.
It was Memorial Day.
Remember, it was Memorial Weekend. We were here on that Monday, sweating profusely.
I just know it was hot. It was 90-some degrees out.
Right.
But shooting it then, it seemed to set in the hand so nice. It seemed to aim and just want to aim. And if that makes any sense, I don't know, but it aimed really nice. So that's the one thing I noticed when I did shoot it over at the shop is even after the shot, it set in the hand. It was quiet. Jim, that's the first thing Jim says. God, this bow was quiet.
Right, exactly. That's another thing was quiet
and light. It seems a little lighter than the 31. I mean, obviously it's a little shorter. It should be a little lighter, but there were some noticeable things about it to me that was pretty cool. So I can't wait to start tuning on it and getting it ready. We haven't finished with it yet, though. We've still got some work to do. We're doing some paper tuning. We ran out of time, so we got to get back over there. Hopefully sometime this week or maybe this Saturday, and do some more work on it and get it tuned up and ready to start shooting.
So that would be just the fact to get that bow outside and start shooting it.
Absolutely. So no, other than that, I love the bow. I just, like I said, I can't wait to get it out. Hope to do some turkey hunting with it, and with that shorter axle. I mean, yeah, it's only 3 inches, but it might make a difference in a pop-up blind. If I'm in a stand, a tree stand with a shooting rail, it's going to make it easier to get over that rail and shoot.
It's going to make it easier to get over the rail and shoot, dude. It might even be easier. I'm sorry to say, but might be able to pull out the easy cuts because that bow's so short. You might not have to cut a lot.
Right.
So
yeah, it's. I'm excited. I'm really excited to get it out and get it tuned and see how the arrows fly out of that thing and get it rocking.
That's this year. I kind of want to mess with that.
Different arrows,
not length of arrow.
Length of arrow.
Because I got a couple older arrows that I have, and I don't know if you saw them yesterday, but I had them together, and one was really short and one was quite a bit longer.
I don't know. I just know you opened up that arrow box, man. It looked like you had a store inside that thing.
I did.
You got a lot of arrows in there.
I do. That's why it's called an arrow box.
Well, you must have had 24 in there, and you must have had 22 different ones.
No, I did not.
He had a lot. He had a lot in there.
No, I had 2 different kinds in there.
But I tell you, the other thing I noticed, 2 things that stuck in my mind. First time I drew back. I got into it and drew back. Okay, so I shoot on the Phenom, my target bow, 50 pounds. That's what we've been shooting the last 12 weeks. And, the 31 that I use right here for hunting is set up at 60, and that one I got at 60 pounds. And when I drew back, it's just like, ugh. It just, even though we've been working out and doing stuff at the gym, it's just, I wasn't ready for that extra.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man, okay. So that was noticeable at first. And, he was checking draw length and everything. We're checking arrows, and he's like, okay. And I got my peep. He set the peep for me. He's like, okay, let down on it. And when I went to let down, you know how you just kind of ease up, like especially when we're shooting target bows,
right?
You let down. Well, with the 90% let off, that's what I've got them mine set at. You almost got to push it. You got to push it the string forward to get it to.
That's because
the cam to activate.
That's because of the cam.
Yeah,
it's now crazy. The other cam system's a little bit more touchy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the ECS cam with that 90% let off, it's different.
It is. It's nice. It really is. So, but
you got to push forward to get the thing to come down.
You know what? When we get them set up, we'll get them in the backyard. We'll do some video on them and we'll do some pictures on them. So
yeah, definitely
everybody can see. It'll be nice to get those in our hands. Get them ready. You're going to use yours for turkey season. Yeah,
and I'll probably use it for archery season. Deer hunting as well. It's I'm going to shoot both the 28 and 31 quite a bit and try to figure out what's what and rock with them. And
I might use the coalition for I might use the crossbow for turkey. I don't know.
Who's using a crossbow for turkey right now, and that's Josh Hagerman down in Tennessee.
He already got 2.
The guy that we do some work with through Scent-Lok is down in Tennessee, and he's
smacking them.
He's lighting it up. Actually, there's a lot of guys down there lighting them up right now. So he's shot 2 birds in 2 days down there.
Right.
So I don't know how many birds they can take down there.
I don't know, but I think he was still hunting today.
Yeah. Was he still in Tennessee?
I know he got 1 yesterday, 1 this morning, and I thought he was still in the same area hunting again today. So
yeah, I don't know. He might be.
I'm not sure.
They may be in a different part of the state where you can jump around and hunt multiple states. So
unlike Michigan, where you're only allowed 1.
Right. So. My dad, we were talking a little bit about turkey season on the phone this weekend, and his cousin's boy, it's about my age, shot his first bird.
Oh, nice.
This last week. They're in the next county over from my dad, which they start a week earlier. So my dad's season will actually start, I think it starts either this Monday or maybe this coming Saturday. I'm not sure which, but Yeah,
Okay.
So yeah, down in Alabama, they're getting ready to rock.
Speaking of turkey, shout out to Tim Seas.
Oh yeah, Big Tim.
The guy out on the limb who provides us our turkey calls, our pot calls.
Yep.
Was in a competition yesterday in Ohio, and he took second place.
Yes, in the amateur division.
Amateur division, second place.
Is this not his first time?
I think
In
it was
a calling
his
competition?
first time in a calling competition. He took second place and then he went into the slate and the box call competition, and he didn't do so well, but he made second place in one of them that we saw. So,
Nice.
yeah, absolutely, and a big shout out to him. And if you're not doing anything on Friday nights at 8:00, check him out on Facebook. Out on the Limb. Checking him out on Facebook. Exactly that.
On the Limb.
On the Limb. And he does a live show Friday nights. And if you got anything talking turkey,
Or any kind of hunting, really.
you know what? He likes to talk turkey, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's all they're going to talk about. Because
Right.
sometimes when you and I are on there, we can send them in.
We sent him in 18 different directions.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and it was nice Friday night because he actually talked about something, and you made a comment about it, and it started off with somebody asking about a number of birds in another state, and it kind of made its rounds, and it ended up talking about Nebraska, who's...
Yeah, talking about that, there's not a lot of news right now about this, but the guys, out in Nebraska, out in the Midwest, they've been just hammered with floods. I mean, severe flooding. I thought I saw somewhere there's like 93 counties, and like 78 of the 93 counties are national disaster areas right now.
They're hurting.
They're hurting. And another guy that I know who hunts out there, the farmer that he leases his hunting property from, called him and said, don't even bother coming this year. He said, right now my fields are under 12 feet of water. He said, we're not going to have any place to hunt this year, maybe not next year.
I don't know when their planting season is.
It's got to be coming soon, but everything's underwater.
Right. I don't know how the farmers are going to get their crops in.
I have no idea.
And that's to get your crops in the ground. I don't know about the cattle farmers or anybody out there.
Other animals, other livestock. You think about the wild animals. One person said, the birds are going to move to a different area. Well, when 3/4 of the state's underwater or has been devastated, okay, the birds may have survived, but my thought is, what happened to the habitat? What happened to the natural browse where, feral fields that are grown where bugs are that birds go in and eat, they eat the seeds, they eat the bugs. I mean, it's just that whole cycle of life that's
the
just
whole
been
ecosystem.
Yeah, that's been upset now. And it's just a big mud pit.
Right, exactly. So, that's hopefully they get the things taken care of out there. They need to get the help.
Yeah.
I know it's not in the news.
No, it's kind of news cycles 1 or 2, maybe 3 days at best, and all of a sudden they forget about it.
Yeah, exactly. Unlike other things.
But I do know, I did see a story last week where farmers here in our local area, here in mid-Michigan, were sending big round bales of hay to Nebraska to help farmers out there feed their livestock.
Awesome.
But the thing to think about with that, and I told our news guys, I said, so what you don't realize, because my dad's a farmer, he's retired, went back, and they're raising beef cattle now. And he told me the other day, he said, we're right at the end of our hay bales. He said, we've got enough to feed through the end of March, maybe a week into April. And he said, if we don't get green up soon, he says, we're going to have to do something different. And they do it. They've got green up now. The fields are coming up down there really nice, his hay fields.
Oh, okay.
And pasture land. So the cattle are actually starting to graze now and getting off to those hay bales. But you think about the farmers up here that may be in that similar situation, and they're taking round bales and they're sending them out there. They're taking from their own livestock, and we're still not in the green up
we're
here.
not even close.
They haven't fertilized pastures yet and anything like that and getting green up. We got snow on the ground.
Right, exactly.
So
and that's a big shout out to our local guys here.
Absolutely.
And speaking of shout out locally, this weekend at Williams Gun is the Spring Turkey Workshop.
Yep, Williams Gun Site. That is April 6th.
I don't know what time.
I think it's 2 to 5. Jim Miller is on.
Jim Miller and Tom Gensel.
Both are on.
If they throw the time up, we'll throw it out there.
So, yeah, get over there. Dan Prince, a local CO here in the area, is going to be giving the seminar for that. And if you guys get a chance just to hear this guy talk, he can tell a story like nobody's business.
That's awesome.
He's just a really good guy. I was there last year and doing some filming last year, and guy knows his stuff.
Okay.
And he's always got good stories.
I thought it was good to have stories.
And even if you're an experienced hunter, and you just want to sharpen up some skills maybe, or maybe you want to learn a new tip or trick or something like that, he's got stuff like that. So it's worth going to.
Yep.
Go support our local NWTF chapter.
Right, exactly. Chapter, so. And I will bet Jim Miller will be there.
Oh, yeah. Yep, he'll be there. Guaranteed.
Smiling away.
Yeah. I'm going to call him out, though. I went and shot on the trail this week with him for our local TV station, and it was about 35 degrees. It was sunny, bluebird skies. He was wearing shorts. I got you, Jim.
Nice.
1 to 5, Tom says. 1 to 5 over at Williams Gunsight and Outfitter, or Williams Gunsight Company.
There you go.
So if you're from this,
69 and Irish Road.
Yep, 69 Irish Road. If you guys know anything about the area, you know where it's at. They've been around for years. So, but I tell you what, let's step outside real quick. Let's take our first break. We come back, we'll continue the conversation, talking a little bit about archery and other things, and anything you guys want to throw at us, we'll be glad to talk about as well. So we'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has reinvented the way you buy bows.
From now on, you can make the most educated decision possible
by basing your bow choice specifically on your shooting needs and goals.
All you need to do is ask yourself, what kind of shooter am I? What do I want to achieve?
PSE will help find the right category for you.
So, what kind of shooter are you?
Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back. Third segment of the show.
Second segment of the show.
Second segment of the show. Oh, that's right, because I saved up.
You doubled.
See what happens, man? You switch the time on me. It just gets me all confused.
I know. Second segment of the show.
Second segment of the show.
We're enjoying our Hunter's Blend coffee.
That's right.
And you are enjoying some retro.
Yeah, I did kind of go retro.
No, you did go retro.
I did.
Not kind of.
Yeah,
you
I did
go retro. You went back to the 80s.
Yeah, let's talk a little camo.
Yeah, not just a little camo, not just your regular spring pattern, your winter pattern.
What do you
summer
use?
Pattern.
What do you use? What's your go-to pattern? Like just your average. If you're gonna,
if actually, I use my tree stand pattern for Mossy Oak.
I miss that pattern.
I love that pattern.
Yeah.
But you gotta watch with any pattern that you use. You gotta watch how it comes out on certain materials.
Yep.
Because I have the suit. My cousin has a pair of boots, but they are so light. When he comes out of the woods, he is like walking with white shoes.
Right. Yeah. It depends on what it's on.
Yeah.
It actually the fabric it's printed on or the material.
That's a rubber.
It's
a rubber boot.
Yeah. It's got that shine to it. It's just totally. Yeah. It can actually change that pattern tremendously. Is that your phone beeping or mine?
Yeah, that's my phone.
Okay.
But yeah, it's kind of funny. The first time he wore those boots coming out of the woods, and I'm looking at him, and I actually could see his feet better than I could see the rest of them.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. And we actually did that in the cabin. We looked at it and said, wow, those are really light.
Oh, okay. I know what this was the 2019 Ohio Feet of Field calendar archery sheet that we were talking about here a while back. So we're going to be there for that, definitely.
Geez. And there's also the 2019 Ohio Double 900.
I saw that.
Saturday, May 11th and 12th.
I don't know
at the soccer fields.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I got some.
So you?
I wanted to
go retro.
The first thing I wanted was some camo that I could use in turkey season and try to stay dry, because we do get a lot, either them damp, wet mornings with a lot of dew or mist or fog, or even occasionally some light rain. But I also wanted something that I could use for early bow season as well, because everything I've got, like Scent-Lok wise, is I've got my mid-season stuff that I usually use throughout October, maybe into the first part of November, and then once we get into the cold season, right around rifle season and beyond, I go to my full season suit of Scent-Lok, and both of those are in breakup too.
Okay.
The new breakup.
So you're going, typically you go with breakup.
Yeah, that's kind of what I go with.
Okay.
I roll with most of the stuff I hunt in. It lends itself to that being a good pattern, and I've actually even used that mid-season suit before for turkey hunting, but it gets a little warm.
Yeah. There's one thing about early season, but if I'm hunting out of a blind, what I'll do is I'll try to wear all black, so I can get away with a hoodie a dark colored hoodie, and a dark colored or a UNJ hat or something like that. Something like that. But so you decided to go this camo pattern, geez, like a throwback to the 1980s.
Yeah, actually, this might be one of their first. Is this their first one? Old Breakup, or not Breakup? I'm sorry, Tree Bark.
Yep.
No, not Tree Bark. Bottomland. This is Bottomland.
This is Bottomland.
Yep, Bottomland.
Oh yes, you're right. This is Bottomland.
Mossy Oak Bottomland.
And it's one of those things that you look at and go, wow.
But this is the Scent-Lok Savanna Reign jacket, and yeah, you can grab the pants there. I got the pants to match, and this is coated with their Never Wet, which is actually the coating on this material causes the water to bead up and roll right off.
Oh, so like a duck.
Yeah, like water off a duck's back.
Oh, actually, water. I'll just read it. Never Wet is a super hydrophobic treatment that dramatically repels water, mud, ice, and other liquids.
Yep.
It rolls off the surface and keeps items dry. So it's like rolls off you like a duck.
Right. So that was the one of the things I wanted was something that's going to keep me, dry, keep everything that I got underneath dry. And then obviously the Scent-Lok, it's got the carbon alloy in it, the activated carbon, and the zeolite. So it's the full treatment of carbon for Scent-Lok in the suit.
So basically you got 3 pockets.
Yep. And I took some photos here. We'll just kind of blast through them and talk about it a little
bit.
Here's the jacket. What I really like about the jacket is the hood, and you can see there in the hood. Inside of it, actually, let me come back to the wide shot here. Inside this hood is almost
a mask,
like a gaiter.
Oh, okay.
It's sewn in right into the hood, so you can either leave it in the back and not use it, or you can pull it to the forward and put it on.
That is cool.
And use it, and that's that's in the photo here. You can kind of see it back there. And actually, I got a photo with me wearing it without right there. So it's kind of in behind my head. You don't even notice it's there.
Okay.
And then if you decide to use it, kind of looks like that.
So basically, you just reach back, pull it forward.
Well, actually, I started to, and it's in there, and it fits so well and tight that you don't want to do it that way.
Oh, okay.
You have to, when you put it on, you kind of like slide it up over top of your head and put it on.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I tell you what I like just looking at this right now is they've got a little bit of orange on it where you need to see things.
Yep.
Like the zippers, and that's one thing when you're fumbling in the dark or a low light and you're looking, where's that zipper at? Right.
Well, you can see the main zipper pull. It's in orange. The zipper on the pocket there is orange. And actually, I got some close-ups of that, I think, here, if I can find them. I've got a bunch of pictures. Like right here, this is the one on the vest, or on the chest.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So it's got that orange pull there as well. And I like having one up top because I can put my cell phone in there a lot of times. So I've got it accessible really quick if I need it, or maybe it's a rangefinder, or sometimes I'll stick that in there, GPS, whatever. I mean, it's plenty roomy enough that you can put just about anything in there.
Okay.
And then it's got some pockets down on the sides as well, 2 pockets on the front. But the other thing with this is much like a lot of jackets now, it's got that access in the back. You can see the hole there for your harness, your safety harness.
To feed through the jacket instead of coming out the neck. And
so you can actually put the harness, because a lot of harnesses, they're black or they're some other color, they're not camo, and it might contrast with what you got and make you stick out like a sore thumb.
Okay.
Or it might have the buckles or something on it that might make a little noise, but if you got it on and you put your jacket on over top of it and feed that out the back, it's
there.
It's contained, and you don't have to worry about string slap catching, any of that kind of stuff. So
nope, not at all.
It's just, I like that. I like that feature.
Any inside pockets inside the jacket itself?
That I don't know. I didn't check that out when I was
thinking about that. I'm thinking is there any inside pockets?
Sometimes there are, sometimes there's not. No, it doesn't look like it.
Oh, what's that? Right there. Isn't that one?
No, that's the pocket from the outside.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So no.
Oh, so that pocket. Okay, I get it.
So,
all right. So
jacket's
but what's
got
nice
3
about that
pockets
is, like you just said, if you're using your cell phone or something like that and you put it in here, you don't have to worry about it getting waterlogged.
Right. Exactly.
So it's actually protected from the water or the dampness.
Mm-hmm. That's what I like about it. It's,
right.
That material, that was the foremost thing that I wanted, was something that was waterproof, not completely waterproof, but water repellent. So
my brother asked, which pattern has the best tree with a gray tone for tree stand? To me, they got rid of the tree stand pattern.
Oh, the tree, yeah.
They got rid of the pattern that answered your question, to tell you the truth.
Right, absolutely. And then with the pants, the thing I like about the pants, number one, you've got them there.
Yep.
Is there's the upper pockets, there's pockets down on the knees, and then there's another side pocket on it as well. So I believe this is 5 pockets.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4. What I like about it, look at it.
See right here, you got one there, and you got one here.
Oh, okay, there it is.
So they're double pockets, which is what I like.
Cool. What I like about this is they put the zipper on the outside and halfway up.
Yep.
Not just a little 6 inches up.
Yeah, well, look right here. I got a picture of it.
There you go.
Look how wide that thing is.
Exactly.
That is like up to your knees.
Exactly. It gives you room to get around a boot or something like that. Instead of some, they just give you like the last 6 inches and say, here, work
good
that.
luck.
Yep.
No, so that's the one thing I really like about the pants. The pocket system, like I said, it there on the knees. You got the zip pocket, and then you got the other pocket that snaps shut on each side, which I like. And then you got the pockets at the top actually as well. And the fastening system for the pants, standard zipper, buckle. It's got a buckle and a button. They fit great. The other thing that I really like about them is the way that the whole system fit me. I could bend around. I could squat down, like, if you're going to squat down to pick up something, or go down on one knee, or in a climbing position where you're climbing up ladders. Everything was snug enough to not get in the way, but yet still loose enough to be able to move around and not feel pinched and tugged on. So
it's something I see in this that I like.
What's that?
I'm just because I haven't seen this ever.
Right.
The suit yet. These are mesh. They breathe.
Yep, breathable. Yep.
So if you put something in your pocket and water gets in that pocket,
it's going to breathe.
It'll breathe and dry out.
Yep.
So if you got something in the pocket, it won't. It'll have time to dry out.
Yep.
That's
the other thing that impressed me about these is look at the seams on these things, the way they're sewn. I mean, everything's double and triple sewn. It's
and you can see where they sew it because they use orange thread.
Yeah, it's really well thought out. But
yeah,
and then go back to the camo pattern. The reason I chose that is, I was thinking, well, a lot of times that the breakup pattern, it just didn't really work well when the leaves were off. You're up against trees a lot, and I thought, well, what better to go back with than something that's old school that was meant to be up against trees.
Exactly.
So there you go. That's why I went with Bottomland. That, and then turkey season, you're sitting on the ground, you're sitting up against a tree. Same. And principle.
There isn't a lot of green in
Michigan.
In Michigan, in the early before May,
Yep.
There really isn't a lot of green.
Yep.
When you get into May,
yeah,
you get green and the mosquitoes.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's awesome.
The thing it's going to be, I think it's green enough that it's going to work as well in early bow season. I'm hoping. I think there's enough green that I'm going to blend in, especially being in tree stands up against a tree and tree bark. I think that's.
I think you can roll with that being almost like exactly like that. You're going to be up against a tree
instead of being more like the brown tones, a heavy brown tone with that breakup.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the reason I went with it. I think it's going to work. I mean, we're going to find out. So.
And you get an extra button.
Yep. Yeah. So no, really well thought out and put together piece of gear.
So the Savanna, right? This is the
Savanna Reign
is early season, right there.
Yeah, that's always been their early season. Their early season line of Scent-Lok clothing.
Above 60 degrees, ideal for warm early season hunts.
Yep. So it's breathable. It's going to wick that moisture away from you. It's got the Scent-Lok. It's got the carbon alloy in there and everything. It's going to help keep your scent contained, but yet still kind of let everything breathe.
Right.
And keep
scent
dry.
Not so much for the turkeys, but we're talking about water.
Yep.
When you get to bow hunting in October.
Yep.
You'll have the scent control with the water.
Yeah. So, but there's a quick picture of the pants and the jacket together, and yeah, that's kind of what I'm gonna roll with this year and see how it really looks out there in the field. That's gonna be the true test. So.
Right, exactly. So this will be awesome. Definitely see some pictures of you.
Hope so. Hopefully with Big Bird. I don't mean Big Bird from Sesame Street either.
You are going to crush a lot of children if you have a picture with you and Big Bird. Okay.
Don't tempt me, man. Don't tempt me at all.
That would go over like a lead balloon, buddy.
Right. Well, I tell you what, we're bumping up on our second break here. Let's step outside, take our next break. We come back, we'll continue the conversation. Just throw some stuff out there, and you guys got any ideas? Throw them our way, and we'll chat about it. We'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has always dominated the speed category. Now, the most revolutionary cam system ever to hit the market has perfected the shooting experience. Introducing PSE's Evolve cam system, featuring extremely high let-off capabilities and the smoothest draw cycle in history. No other cam system has ever delivered this level of total comfort and total control. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
You know, talking about coming back into our third break here, we were talking in the break, thanks to Billy Hoffman, talking about bows, talking about turkey hunting.
Yep.
What better way to get out and practice and do some outdoor 3D shooting?
You know, I cannot wait. Hopefully the target bow gets here quick because I want to set that thing up. I want to set it up for 3D shooting or outdoor shooting as well. But, yeah, exactly. I want it.
This weekend at Land O'Lakes here in Fenton, they're having their first outdoor 3D shoot. At least that's a sign we're heading in the right direction for temperature.
I think we're going to have some nice weather, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So it's coming. I think we're supposed to be in the 50s-ish. I've wanted to work on my own outdoor range here in the backyard. I want to put down some paver stones and, I'm spilling coffee on me.
Way to go. Don't spill it in the electronics, though. Don't do that.
I want to put them, and mark them so I know each distance. So
I tell you what,
do
that
shoot.
Because that's what I've done in my backyard.
Yeah.
And I just walk and there's my paver that's got 40 on it, 30 on it. And
do you do meters or yards?
Those are done in yards.
Do you do meters as well or no?
Well, not until last year.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like, okay, so I got to set it. And so it's in yards typically. So we might, I just make a little bit of adjustment for meters.
Okay. So. Just wondered. Just thinking outside the box a little bit. Hey, Chris Schnurr, what's going on? Speaking of shooting, he was down at Oakland County Sportsman's Club shooting today as well. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's speaking of shooting, that's something we haven't really talked about a lot is our archery league, and our archery league is now over. What was that look for?
You know what? I got to answer somebody's questions because I'm getting dinged on it about it. Tammy Delk was asking if I was shooting arrows or bolts. Because we're shooting the bows, we're shooting arrows. But when I shoot the coalition, I'm shooting the bolts.
Tammy, I got on him last week profusely about that. I hammered him. He kept saying arrows, and I was like, no, they're bolts. So
I like to mess with Mike because
he knows I'm pretty anal about stuff like that.
Right. Question from my brother. Mm-hmm. Does that have insulation? What temperature is it slotted for? You know what, Terry?
No insulation. It is slotted for 60 degrees and above. But they fit well enough on me that I can actually take and... Actually, I had a picture of that.
Do you have a picture of that tag?
I did, but...
Yeah, that's an early season suit for 60 and above, but I bet you Mike's going to tell you he's got enough room to wear a hoodie under that thing.
Actually, well, right here.
Oh,
this jacket, I actually had the hoodie that I'm wearing right now, my black Scent-Lok hoodie, and my T-shirt underneath it. I actually had that on underneath that jacket. That fit really nice. The pants, I tried putting them on over my blue jeans, and it would not work. But when I just put the pants on by themselves, there's plenty of room that I can wear a thin base layer underneath. So
that's cool.
So,
well, that's what's nice about
turkey season. That's what you're going to run with,
So that's what is nice about early season as well.
Yeah,
you can always wear clothes and take them off, and as you get hot or as it gets warmer during the day, because it's usually cool in September mornings, and then it's by midday you're like, okay, it's getting warm out here.
Yeah. You know what? Let me see if I can blow this picture up enough here to where I can actually show it and let you guys see it here. Yeah. So right there, Terry, if you take a look, it says it's early season. I think on there it says 60 and above, temperature-wise.
Yeah, it even says, I read the tag, it says 60 and above. So,
but no, there is no insulation in that whatsoever. So, matter of fact, did you pick it up and show them the inside of it?
Yeah, the inside is
it's just it's the material. Actually, it's the actual outside shell of the material. There's just one piece of fabric there.
Yeah, it's not insulated.
And turned and hemmed and sewn like 3 times. So there's 2 there, and then they turn it and sew it, and then they put 2 more rows of stitching in there. So nope, no insulation,
none.
But what were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about that, and we were talking about the 3D shoot this weekend at Land O'Lakes. Okay. Their first outdoor shoot. Something else we picked up this week. I picked it up on the way coming across the mitten.
Yeah.
We picked up our PackerMaxx.
That's right. I'm going to be taking that to Indiana in 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're going to be taking that to Indiana in 2 weeks. I stopped by Lincoln Roan's place. Mm-hmm. He was sitting back in his easy chair in the garage when I pulled up.
taking it easy.
Well, he was taking a break.
Okay.
He's a little busy. But I picked up the PackerMaxx, brought it home. I tell you what's really cool about this thing is when he carried it out from the garage to the back of my truck. He basically just threw it over his shoulder.
Picked it up and walked out with it.
And walked out with it because it's 55 pounds.
Okay.
So it's like, wow, that's awesome. And he just slid it into the back of my truck and we just secured it because, unfortunately, it rolls.
Right.
So we just had to secure it. But then I brought it home and I have it with me in the back of my truck.
And 300 plus pounds, I think he said.
Yeah, it'll go up to 300. 300 something with water, and if you use sand, it adds even more, like
350-ish?
No, it's something like that. I think for the standard model, I think you're right.
Okay, so that's what we got, the standard model, and
so you will see that in action. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to have it pulling behind a 4-wheeler. Mm-hmm. I'll either have it pulling behind the 4-wheeler or the Ranger.
Right.
But he gave me some ideas to do with it. We've got some ideas with to fill up some watering holes with it as well.
Right. Yeah, we're going to be using it down there. I'm going to be shooting video with it hopefully here in a couple weeks when I'm down working on the property in Indiana. I don't want to give it away just yet, but I've got an idea that I want to use it for. Show you guys a different way to use this thing.
And it's one piece of equipment, but it's the more I'm learning about this whole gamekeeper type deal thing, planting, it's becoming more of an important piece of equipment that you need to make the seed bed
to make sure your crop's going to be good contact with the ground, make sure that your seeds germinate, so your food plots and all the hard work you put into it, make sure that it's successful.
Absolutely. So. And it's one of those things that it's useful. Mm-hmm. You fill it with water, and then when you're done, you can empty it, and you can carry it if you need to. If you're not going to leave it, like I'll have mine in the UP and I need to bring it home, I can empty it, takes off the weight, and I can bring it home to you, and then you can take it down there, fill it up.
Yep. But that's not the only thing you got this week. You got something else. I see you sporting a new hat, and you got some stuff sitting over there on the...
Yeah. I don't think we announced this on the show yet, though.
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't. But we brought on a new sponsor for this upcoming seasons.
Supporter.
And we're bringing on, and you can see by my hat, which I see he commented on already.
Hey, he is on.
We are bringing on Gut Check. And we have the Gut Check indicators.
Going to be using them for turkey season.
And deer season. And then we got the arrow wraps as well.
Yep.
So
we had Dean on, about a month and a half ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so for turkey season, this is kind of cool. Especially if you're going to use in a bow. Mm-hmm. You get a shot on it. Turkey flies away or runs away. Want to make sure where you want to hit it.
Yep.
That'll be good for that. And then for whitetail, same thing. What I like about this is you can check it with just regular. If you find spots of blood
on the ground,
you can use it and check it and say, hey, where did I hit this thing with? And go from there. Because if you didn't, it happens so fast.
Yep.
Whether you're shooting a bow and the adrenaline and you let that arrow fly and things happen and noises and deer takes off or turkey takes off and it's like, okay, I thought I hit him.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I hit him.
Well, we thinking a little. This just popped in my head, and Dean's on, and he might be able to answer this for us. But okay, with the wipes, obviously with the Gut Check arrow wraps that have that indicator strip on it, that's for bow season. But let's take and think a little bit about either shotgun or rifle season or black powder season. You got a deer out there, and like you said, the adrenaline's pumping, and you shoot. Well, 9 times out of 10, you shoot, the deer runs off.
Yep.
Here in Michigan, we, especially where I hunt, we're hunting some pretty thick stuff. And if it's, where you last saw the deer, and you go out there and you check. What do we always do? We check for hair and blood.
Yep.
Well, you could take one of them out and put it on and use that blood that's there on the ground and wipe it with that, and it would tell you if you've got a good hit or if you gut shot it.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect example. There you go. So actually, we're going to be using these through turkey season, through all of deer season.
Yep.
And whether we're going to use the wipe indicators or right on our arrows. But you're right. During gun season, we can get them out there as well. And then if, especially gun season, a lot of times you shoot them, they do run off.
Yeah.
They just don't drop. Sometimes they drop. You don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
And if they run, like I know in some spots that I hunt, they run 40 yards. They're out of sight for me.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And, if you can check that blood, you know, okay, well, maybe it wasn't as good a hit as I thought it was. Let me back out. You know, if you've got a gut shot, you know, and that way it'll tell you, and you can back out and give it time to expire, and then go back in and recover your game.
Right, exactly. And you know what? Go check them out, folks. GutCheckIndicators.com. You can go check them out. Deer and turkey. We'll be using them this year. Glad to have them aboard.
Yep, absolutely. So, you know, you look for them. We're going to have them here on our board here behind us real quick. So, we got a few more minutes. What else we using this year we haven't really talked about?
There, you know what? Dean just confirmed it. Yes, sir. Dab blood.
There we go.
And see if acid is present. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for the stomach acid. But, yep, I'm kind of excited to have them on board as a supporter. And
absolutely.
If we're going to be using those, that's a good thing.
That means we've taken a shot.
Exactly. I tell you what, it's like, I'm going to be using these, right? Yes.
So
now that's another thing. I'm going to ask you something totally out of the blue because it just, as I'm getting excited about shooting something.
I worry about him when he does this.
I know in the UP as of right now,
yep,
I can't take any does.
Okay.
Do you know in Indiana how that rule works for you guys down there?
We're going to have to take some deer down there. The property we're on, that's part of working with the property owner. We're going to have to take some does because they've got quite a few deer on the property, and we've already started talking about that. How many does do we want to try to take? And,
okay.
You know, just preliminary numbers, kind of like off the top of our head. You know, we might start with a pretty even number, like maybe 20. You know, so the area that we're in, we're able to take. You can buy extra tags for doe harvest.
Okay.
And I still got to work through a lot of that. You know, with Indiana rules and regs and stuff. And in the county that we're in, they do things. They do things a little different down there. The way they manage a deer. And if I'm not mistaken, they do it by county instead of DMUs like
Ohio
does
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to work through that. I'm going to have the boys down there explain it to me. Also, you know, if I have to, talk with the CO, get the rules and reg book and go through that. You know, and that's the other thing about hunting a different state is, you know, make sure you do your due diligence and make sure that you know the rules and regs before you get down there. And then you're like, oh man, I thought I could do this, but I can't do this. You know, what are the rules on supplemental feeding? Can you do that or can you not? Can you bait or can you not? You know,
right.
All kinds of things. I know that supplemental feeding, I think, if I remember, David told me you can supplemental feed 10 days, up to 10 days prior to season, but after that, it all has to be pulled out.
Up to the season or
start.
Up to when you hunt?
No, season.
Okay, so
I'm pretty sure it's season start.
Okay, so if it's, I'm going to just say October 1st, you have 10 days before that, you have to stop.
Yeah, because otherwise, I mean, you think about it, that's pretty sensible rule because otherwise, you know, how does, if a CO was to come in and check, how would he know when you pull that out of the area?
Absolutely.
You know,
and within 10 days, everything that you put down should be gone.
Yeah. So, you know, if it's like October 1st, you know that on the 20th of September, it's got to be out of there.
Right. Exactly. So you know, that I was getting excited shooting something like that. I got to ask you now.
Right.
It's like, because that's, and speaking of that, I'm looking at the time here. And you now have 4 hours and 5 minutes left in your hunting licenses.
Expire here in Michigan.
Expire in Michigan.
And actually, Dean Elliott was talking about Josh Hageman just nailed a huge gobbler using the gut check indicators. And we were talking about that earlier on the show before you joined us here, Dean, that he's shot two birds. He's got two birds down already in 2 days. So I think he's going to clean house this week down there. I think you better get him out of Tennessee or whatever state he's in and get him back home before he shoots
shoot all the birds. Right? He's not going to be wanted back.
Better send him some more gut check indicators.
Right, so, exactly.
That's good stuff. But, for those of you here in Michigan, as of tomorrow, you need new fishing license, new hunting license. Everything across the board is done. So
where Dean is from, they have to remove 30 days prior to season starting.
Okay, 30 days.
Okay, and your food plots that you'll be using, we're getting a question that says from Ron and Cindy, are you guys going to use Roundup on your food plots?
Actually, I don't know. I do know in 2 weeks when we go down, the goal is to spray the fields. I assume that's what they're going to use, but I do not know exactly what they're going to use, but I think so.
How far do they have to travel to get to the property?
Who?
Dave.
I can't tell you that.
Okay, I just... well...
I'm sorry.
I just... Because here's my dilemma.
I can't tell you that.
Here's my dilemma is my property being 8 hours away.
Yeah.
I can't spray Roundup and then... Unless I'm going to be there for a week.
Right. Yeah. There's a certain amount of time. We're not. Yeah. We're going to get it prepped and ready. Put it this way: it's not just a quick trip around the corner.
Okay.
For any of us.
Right. Okay.
I've got the longest drive, but yeah, obviously there's time involved. But obviously, with them being in state, it's a lot shorter distance for them to be able to do
exactly.
It.
That's what I was going to say, because I don't think you round up the fields up the club.
No, and there's a big controversy in this. We've talked about at least me and another member of my hunting camp here in Michigan. We've talked about this extensively, and he is very anti-chemical.
Okay,
he is of the and I appreciate that. And this is going to be a little different down there, but he doesn't like putting chemicals on the ground, and he wants to use more of a natural type of planting where you're tilling the soil and turning the weeds down.
Okay,
and turning that back over and getting it back into the ground.
Yeah, that's kind of what I have to do, because my distance is so great. It's like I gotta get up there. Basically, my plan is to cut, and then rototiller or get it turned over somehow, and then roll it, seed it,
right,
and then roll it again,
and then wait for it to rain,
and hope it rains.
Yeah. So but getting back to the chemical portion of it. It just depends on what side of the fence you're on, and I still don't know where I'm at, to tell you the truth. I can appreciate both sides.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And I know there's talk that certain chemicals are safe, and I know a lot of guys. I know actually a lot of what QDMA teaches. They tell you the different chemicals to use for different situations. They're pro chemical versus of the natural side of things. But we've had pretty good success with what we've done up there up until this year. And the reason is just everything, the planning got screwed up. But before that, everything that we've done in the last 3 or 4 years is went pretty smoothly, and we've had good results. So. You know what we need to do? It'd probably be a good person to talk about this. We haven't had him on. We didn't have him on last year. We need to. It's about that time of the year. Maybe we ought to try to get a hold of Nick Percy, Killer Food Plots.
Absolutely.
Get him on.
He would definitely be able to fill us in on what to do.
Yeah. So, but I tell you what, we're running a little long in the tooth here in this segment. So let's take our last break. We'll come back. We'll kind of cover a few more things and wrap up the show. So we're going to step outside. We'll be right back after this quick message.
Acceleration is part of PSE's DNA. PSE pioneered the speed movement. Now they've developed the vapor category to help you find the most powerful bows on the market to fit you.
High speed equates to intense power and building the momentum you need to be successful. Are you a vapor shooter? Find out at PSEArchery.com.
Last segment, back 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
time, so.
Last 12 weeks, we've been shooting.
Yep,
and I think we had a blast.
I did. I got frustrated a couple nights and wanted to throw my bow against a tree.
You did. You're a young whippersnapper at that kind of game.
Yeah.
I just said, dude, relax,
and I did.
You tried.
Yeah, I tried.
But it was different because it was something we did consistently for 12 weeks.
Did you learn anything?
Oh yeah, I learned a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let Jim shoot 50-50.
Right.
Because he wins it too much.
Right.
I learned, actually, I was learning kind of every day, every week we shot.
Right.
Because towards the end, I said, okay, I'm going to make the change to the fatter arrows on the lens. And I'm going to do it now in league. Because I wasn't too concerned that I don't think we were towards the top. Didn't seem like it.
No.
But just to get a feel for what watching these guys, I think his name's Doug. Mm-hmm. Those two guys were shooting lights out.
Yep.
And Jim always shot lights out.
Yep.
And it was like, all right, let's get these fatter arrows and shoot these and start. And okay, I can definitely see the difference, And you definitely learn things. You learn when somebody shoots without their rest up, what happens.
Yeah, I found that out the hard way.
Right. But it was, to me, I equated it to bowling, where it became the process.
That was, to me, was the biggest thing, was the process. And actually, what you were just saying about the rest, I mean, I've got a step-by-step process that I methodically go through. And that night, for whatever reason, at that point in time, I was trying to think back after that shot. what caused me to forget the step to actually flip the rest up. And I've got a drop away, but the drop away I use, the AAE Prophecy drop away rest, you flip up. If you draw and shoot, it doesn't come up by itself. If it's down, it stays down.
That's okay. I didn't understand because I use. I think on that bow, I either got the ripcord or I got
QAD.
The QAD, and when you if you forget, you pull back and it pops up automatically.
Yeah,
which tends to scare me at times. But that was part of my process, was to put the arrow on, flip the rest up. That was part of my process.
Yeah, this one's a QAD, and I don't know if you can see it there or not, but when you shoot, let me put my hand in front so you can see it come up. If you forget to pull this flipper up and set it, that went like that. When you go ahead and drop back, when you draw your bow back, it'll actually pull it up and lock it.
Ah, okay, that's what was going on.
But the one on my target bow doesn't.
The AAE does not do that.
No. So that being part of the process, there was something that night that distracted me at that point in time, and I don't remember what it was.
Oh, it could have been anything.
It could have been any little thing, because it's just, you get a squirrel moment in the middle of the process, but I would systematically, methodically go through everything. And it got down to that last 2 or 3 weeks where I actually, I had what I thought were 2 good weeks. I shot my best score 2 weeks in a row. And then after that, I kind of slacked off, and then I slowly started making that climb back up. And actually, had I not thrown that shot with that rest, I think I might have shot my best score.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
With that, but
and for me, each week it was okay. So the whole entire time I shot a single face.
Right.
And I would tell myself, okay, you want to be within the 6th ring, the blue ring.
Right.
Every shot needs to be there, no misses.
Right.
And so my goal was to get into that, and it eventually got there. And you guys were trying to get me to shoot a 3-spot, but I said, nope, that's next year.
Mm-hmm.
So it was I just set individual little goals for me each week, and it's like, okay. Of course, watching Jim shoot and Doug and those guys.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, shooting, XXXXXXX, 10XXXXX. Yeah, it's, but I don't know if I'll ever even get close to that, but the point is I just want to become a better shooter. And that's what I saw.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing that I really got out towards the end, especially the last 2 to 3 weeks, is when I had a shot that maybe didn't get either in the 9 or 10 ring, if I shot at like an 8, I knew why, because I really paid attention to my grip and my pressure and hand placement, the whole 9 yards. And it's when you draw and you come into your shot, you hear, how many times you hear me talk about forward pressure? Pressure. Oh, that shot was bad because I didn't have enough forward pressure. I broke down on the shot, and I'd shoot low left, and it happened. And then I'd recognize that, and then the next time I get into it and I have good forward pressure, good grip placement, and it's pushing them right in there, in a 10 ring or into the X.
And overall, for the whole entire league, I just want to comment to the Oakland County Sportsman Club out there that everybody we shot with was nice.
Yep.
Informative, and taught us.
Yeah, and that was the thing, that was our first time we'd ever shot leagues. We've shot with Dan a couple times, and it's nice having him there, and then one other person with us, and they would teach us, proper etiquette and things to do while you're on the course. But when you're shooting indoor leagues, we're stacked, nose to butt, and it's, there's certain protocols and things that you do, and they're like, oh, okay, you just need to do this, or don't, next time don't do that, just wait.
Yeah, they weren't sticklers on. Oh my God, you touched the target, or you.
Yeah.
They'd say, hey, you know what? Typically,
this is what we do.
You have somebody call it, you have somebody score it.
Yep.
And they can ask for help. It worked out really good learning the rules that they had.
They made it very comfortable for a new person.
Oh my God, did they ever? It was just awesome, and
so
it was
tip
fun.
of the hat.
Absolutely. But Dean Elliott wants to know, what weight are you shooting? You're shooting.
Weight wise is what for the bows?
Bows for hunting or for target shooting?
My target setup is 50 pounds, and my hunting rig is 60.
I am 55.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. So I just dropped it to 55, and these arrows are so fast. These bows are so fast.
Right.
It's just, it gets there, especially the indoor. You're only shooting 19 meters, and it's there.
Yeah. Right. It's so that's where I'm at on mine. And then like we were talking earlier in the show, this one here is a 31, Evolve 31. Danny and I both got the 28's now. Are you using yours for?
My 28 I'll probably use for my hunting rig.
Okay.
And then, right now I have it slated for my hunting rig.
Okay.
I want to see the other one, and that, I don't know, it might be a toss-up.
Okay.
I'm expecting both good things out of them.
Okay. Fair enough. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And then we're both waiting on our new target rigs to come in. So,
and
yeah,
you know what? I see a little conversation going back between Terry and Tammy about walleye. We got to get Lance Valentine on.
Yeah, actually, he contacted me. We need to get together on some stuff. But he's doing some stuff now. Doing a lot of stuff online, actually. And I think he was at some sports show this weekend or last weekend. I saw, and we need to I need to reach out to him. We'll get him on maybe and talk a little more fishing here because walleye season is right here on us.
Exactly. So my brother has a question. Mm-hmm. Did you ever try golf gloves in shooting? And I'm gonna
no, I did
you
not.
didn't. I did. What I did was, to answer your question, Terry, yes, I used my right hand, but I cut the thumb out because when I first started using the stand release,
the SX3,
yeah, it was bugging me for some reason. But when I wore the glove, I don't know if it filled the void or it changed a little bit, but it felt more comfortable.
Okay.
But as I got going into it, I didn't need it anymore.
Okay.
So I don't know if it was just mental or
getting used to the release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did, but I went away from it. But that's not to say I might go back to it because the stand release can be slippery at times,
especially if you got sweaty fingers.
Yes. So that might be something during the summer to use while you shoot, or I could use that hunting as well. But I did try it.
I couldn't. I tried I'd use my Scent-Lok gloves, my thin one, even my thin ones, early season gloves, and I did not like shooting with those gloves on because I like finger to release contact. I'd like to have that positive feel,
especially with these stand releases.
Yeah.
You got to have that feel because
they're so sensitive.
Exactly, and I keep basically my shooting hand free now, and I'll have it tucked in a pocket or in a hand warmer or the hand warmer thing.
Yep, that's what I did all season long when I was shooting, especially in late season. When I went back up in December and I did archery hunt a couple of, I think 3 or 4 days there right before, or actually no, I take that back. It was only 2 days. I archery hunted right before muzzleloader there when the kids were coming up, and it was super cold. And I'm like, I can't put that glove on. I couldn't do it. So I stuck it in my pocket.
There is what I found, and you can try this. Is I think they're $1 a pair, maybe $1.50, but they're the little black gloves, and they fit. It fits really tight, and I'll wear those.
I've got a pair of those. I know what you're talking about.
And I tell you what, those end up. I can sometimes go so long with just those gloves on.
Yeah.
And then I'll just take that off, and then I'll warm up my hands and put it back on.
I do have a pair of those, and I believe they're the 511 tactical gloves, shooting gloves for pistol shooting.
Oh, okay.
I do have a set of those, or they actually maybe another company I don't want to mention that I bought them before they.
But yeah, these are
a company that we both don't like,
right? But they're
all black.
Yeah, these are just cotton gloves. They're real thin.
Yeah,
they end up they're really small, but they end up feeling really tight.
Yeah, mine are nylon.
Those are awesome.
But they break the wind. I still get good positive contact. I have used them in the past. I didn't use them this year though. I don't know. I might try those this year and see how that works out.
Right, exactly.
So,
got anything else on your? Now that we've gone through fishing, we've gone.
Do you want to cover? We got one more product over there we haven't talked about yet that we're working with this year. Do we want to talk about that or save that for another day?
We can save it for next week.
Okay, we'll do that.
Because next week,
next week.
Next week we'll talk about the product that's over there, and we should have an interview. I just got to confirm next week with Mountain Ops.
Mm-hmm. The reason is because Danny and I are both still doing our workouts.
Yep, we're still doing our workouts, and we talked to them at ATA. So we want to get a little bit more information about their workout stuff that they do have for outdoors, indoors, morning, noon, and night.
Yep. So speaking of, real quick, we got just a few minutes here. The workouts. How do you think we're doing?
Well, according to our trainer, we talked to him Thursday night. He says we've got over the hump, and now we told him I think April 12th will be our 6-month mark.
Yep.
And he says, okay, guys, it's time to change it up.
So after April 12th, we're going to go back to him. He's going to set up another workout plan for us.
Yep, because we've been doing the workout plan that we've been doing now for 6 months. And Mike and I, we definitely see improvement on everything. You know, we've gained our weights on the machines. We've done this. Our stamina is better. doing, you're running on the treadmill.
Yep.
I'm on the elliptical. It just, we're getting better at certain things, but he says now we're going to change it up to do different things. We're going to work the same muscles, but differently.
Yeah.
And so he'll set up a new regiment. We're going to do that for 3 months, he says, and then he'll probably change it up again.
Yep.
He says 6 months is probably a little too long, but 3 months, he kind of, it's really nice that he came out and talked to us. He talks to us all the time, but
yeah,
he kind of gave us the skinny on your body takes 3 weeks to adapt.
Yeah.
And then it knows what you're doing.
Yeah. And then it starts, trying to minimize the amount of effort it takes to do whatever exercise you're doing. So we got to start confusing the muscle groups a little bit to get that workout in.
Dean Elliott says muscle confusion is good.
Yeah.
That's right. Tony Gertz got a question for you.
All right.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
Prepping for a New Brunswick bear hunt in June. Any advice on broadhead selection?
Wow. I've never bear hunted with archery. Well, I take that back. I have bear hunted with archery equipment, but I've never shot at a bear with archery equipment.
I'm going to ask first question. I'm going to ask because I'm going to throw something out there. Is do you like mechanical or do you like fixed?
Yeah, and me on a bear hunt, I'm of the mindset go with fixed blade. I mean, I'm a fixed blade guy. I could be talked into a mechanical blade for whitetail, but I just think on a bear that hide is so much tougher. I want every ounce of energy that I've got going on that arrow and that broadhead to penetrate that hide and get in there and do the damage. You know, that's just my own personal preference as far as a broadhead. You know, and I use the G5 Montec.
I was going to say, what if you're a fixed or a mechanical? Mm-hmm. I know one of the companies we got here locally. I've shot them. I've shot the mechanical side, and I think you shot the Montec side.
Yep,
which is
G5.
the fixed.
Yep, G5
is G5.
Yep.
Check them out. Give it a whirl.
What's their new mechanical? The meat cutter.
Meat cutter or meathead.
Something like that. Yeah.
We didn't get time at the ATA to talk to him about it. We were a little busy.
Yeah.
But I truthfully, if depending on where you stand on that, if you're feeling comfortable, try a couple different ones to get a feel for them. But I've used G5 mechanicals in the past on whitetails, and I've had no problems.
You know, it's just when you spend that much time and that much travel and you're going that far away, I always try to minimize anything that can go wrong. And to me, I'm not trying to say anything about a mechanical, but you know, it's one less moving part, and that's why I like the fixed blade. I like the fixed blade. It's just I try to, minimize anything that may not fully do what it's intended
Something
to
might
do
go wrong
for some reason.
Dean Elliott killed a 200-pound black bear at 20 yards with a mechanical.
There you go. See, and he prefers mechanicals. So I think we could debate that around and round for...
Everything I am reading is confirming what you say about fixed over mechanical. Okay. I was thinking the same way.
Okay.
Josh Hagerman.
Josh Hagerman's on here. You know what?
The Indiana turkey killer.
The turkey machine. Slayer. The turkey killing machine right now. So.
Right, yeah. So, but yeah, Tony, if you're going to go fix that, I'd again, Montecs are cut on contact.
Yep. Yeah, I use. I don't use the carbon steel. I use the stainless steel version.
I was just about to say, don't they have a carbon? Okay.
Yeah, carbon steel and stainless steel.
But yeah, good. They're a good broadhead. They've never steered me wrong on the mechanical side, and you use fixed. So.
Yep, and I've used them for years, but that's just my personal preference. So. We're running a little bit here up on the end of the show. I tell you what we'll do. We'll hang around because now that we're back at 7:00, we can actually answer some questions after the show. But for the podcast portion, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
So on the podcast, remember, if you're listening to the podcast, we've got in town here, we've got a 3D shoot at Land O'Lakes Outdoors. And then April 6th from 1 till 5, we've got
That's the same day, Saturday.
Yep. I think it's Saturday, Sunday for the shoot.
Okay.
And Saturday is the turkey seminar at Williams.
Yeah, at Williams Gun Sight Company here in Davison, Michigan. So if you want some turkey tips, good stories, and just some good knowledge, come on over.
And see a old guy in shorts, maybe?
Yeah, Jim might be wearing shorts. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So I tell you what, though, we're going to wrap up the podcast portion for us. That'll do it for us this week, folks. We'll be back again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on GoodTalkRadio.com. This episode was brought to you by PSE Archery,
Scent-Lok Technologies,
Scent Blocker,
Rambo Bikes,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Limb Walker Game Calls,
Stanislavski Releases,
Copper John Sights,
Easy Cut Outdoor Products,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Hunting Sense,
X-Stand Tree Stands,
Spot Shooters,
Gut Check Indicators,
and PackerMaxx Cultipackers.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe until next week on the Up North Journal.